And we're here off at the National Sports Centre, the FA Cup final between the Devonshire Cougars playing from left to right and the Somerset Eagles playing from right to left. Devonshire Cougars in their traditional white strip, the Eagles in their traditional yellow and blue. Both teams here at the carpet look to become first-time winners for their clubs to take the coveted FA Cup for 2009, take them back to their legion of supporters. Influential Troy Tucker on the ball, spreads the ball out wide. Aquino Grand, left. Adolphus Lambert, left. Looking for Troy Tucker. Drove in to the Cougars. Cougars coached by influential playmaker Kwame Steed, player coach. And the Eagles with the all-knowledgeable Kenneth Thompson, better known as Kenny. Kenny supported by Maurice Lowe, and Kwame supported by Cyril Steed and Sean Smith. Adolphus Lambert spins away from D'Amico Coddington, who should be very influential in this match. And George O'Brien signals the first foul, awards the free kick to the Eagles. Referee O'Brien will have his hands full as both of these teams will be eager to take. Referee O'Brien will have his hands full as both teams will be eager to take the trophy back home. Torrey Davis, number 20. First free kick of the match. Blocked there, D'Amico. Davis, beautiful control. Spreads it out wide to Lambert. Lambert makes his run. Still in possession. Ball in the box. Falls to Russell. Russell lays it off. Picked up by Franks. First real danger of the match here. After only 1 minute and 58 seconds, Eagles looking to score. It's now Cougars. First time into the opponent's half. And we have Convo and Tucker. Davis. The battle between Davis and Steve will be influential to see who will take the trophy back home. It's Tucker. Drifts in. And cleaned up there by number 18. Quick drove in. Cougars looking to spread the ball. Elgin Mijoul, the veteran, lays it off to Steed. Steed shoots just far off the far post. Marcel Thomas looked to be beaten, but luckily the ball just drifted wide. We see the two veterans linking up, Zhu and Steed. Zhu being very unselfishly laying the ball off. Long kick by Marcel. Headed out wide by Franks. And it's Jesse Seymour, left back, played the ball in. Lambert, one time to Russell. Russell does a no-look pass, gives the ball away. Zhu. Ball out wide to Coddington. Coddington full of trickery on the right side. Beautiful crossover to Zhu. Zhu heads it. Zhu heads over the bar, all of 8 yards. This match is turning to be lively already. Inside of 5 minutes with 2 opportunities for the Cougars. 1 for the Eagles. Zhu just unable to get his small stature over the ball. And it's these Cougars who have now signaled their intent. Eagles will have to regroup. We've yet to see the very influential Kishan Bean, one of Bermuda's most promising youth strikers, get into the match. Eagles again look to regroup. Very young back line. Ball looking over to Troy Tucker. Beautiful. Troy Tucker, number 10, the deadly maestro. Lays it off to Russell. Russell, deadly coming in from left to right. Takes on. Guided out. O'Brien signals goal kick. To the dismay of Russell. But again, this is a lively match. And as we are about to cross the 5-minute mark, it is still 0-0 here at the Sports Center between the Cougars and the Eagles. Brangman kicks. Headed back by Tucker. Cougars. Falls to Kovan. Shot goes wide. And the AR has signaled for offside. Cougars have a few players back from school for this match. We have Darius Cox returning from University College, looking to take and help the Devonshire Cougars bring the trophy back. And for Somerset Eagles, we have Keishan Bean, having been flown back for this very entertaining FA Cup final. Lambert. Steed being followed closely. Cotterton against the youngster. Battersby holds his ground, the youngster. Looking to release Russell. Cox sends a long ball, clears his lines. Battersby heads the ball back in. Bean, first time for Bean on the ball, turns away. But Steed is there. Steed always creating space for him. Very intelligent player. Butterfield looking for Zul. Battersby unable to clear the ball. Zul looking to play in Cottington. Bean, acres of space. Finds Tucker. Cottington. Beautiful control. Cottington shoots easily for Thomas. Long kick by Thomas. Butterfield unable to control. Davis. Bean, beautiful flick over the head of Cox. Bean, a very dynamic player. Franks gets the better of him this time. And beautiful interplay. Releasing Tucker. Tucker down the line. Thomas comes way off. One-time shot into goal. Battersby is there to clear. End-to-end action here at the Sports Center. Steed. Butterfield. Crosses over. Thomas. And again, a quick release. But it's Franks with the promising maestro Tucker. But Franks shows his superiority. The veteran against the youngster. Battersby. Davis heads it back calmly. Back to Cotterton. Steed. Marshaled there by Andrade. And O'Brien signals a free kick approximately 25 yards in the middle of the goal. Thomas is on his near post, looking to set up his wall. Looks like D'Amico Connaughton will be looking to strike this one. And it's Connaughton. Free kick to the right of Thomas. Thomas had to go down and push the ball just outside of the near post. First corner of the match awarded to the Cougars after 8 minutes and 32 seconds. And Tamani Steed floats one, headed by Franks, unable to direct it on to goal. The Eagles will have to be tighter man marking on corners. Cougars has some tall players, and the back four of the Eagles will have to play man-to-man anywhere in the 18-yard box. So that's for our very entertaining match. Both teams having opportunities, with Cougars having the better of the goal-scoring opportunities, but not able to get that clinical first goal. Again, strong header by Franks. Andrade. Zul to Connaughton. Connaughton releases Steed. Steed out jumps Andrade. The tough tackling Andrade, all of 17 years old. Ball crossed in. Steed shoots. Ooh. We've seen the Eagles give away the ball on the edge of the 18, or just in the 18 a few times, not clearing the ball cleanly. If this continues, we should see Cougars strike first. Cougars are a lethal team, and we're sure if these opportunities come more frequent, the ball will be in the back of the net, in the back of the Eagles' net. Thomas, again, a long kick. Tucker flicks it on. Russell over The short, Butterfield. Franks. Davis. Back to Lambert. Battersby. On the chest of Franks. High kicking by Franks after some poor control. Looking for Darren Derlin, the holding striker for the Eagles, to get into the match. His role is to play with his back towards goal and feed the ball into Russell and Bean. Davis flips one over. Ball drifts over to Brangman. Brangman had to tip that over the top. Good reaction by the keeper. The crowd here is being entertained today. I believe you'll see at least 3 or 4 goals in this match. And it's Tucker, the first corner of the match for the Eagles. Tucker floats one over. Headed out by Franks. Looks like Steve be quick to react. Steed heads on. Poor communication between the Eagles. And it's Davis. Flicks one back to Tucker. Steed trying to find his cousin, Kwame Steed. And Steed pushes Battersby, but the referee awards the corner. The second corner for the Eagles. For the Cougars, so the Cougars applying pressure. Another corner which will be taken by Timani Steed. We have Timani Steed and Corvan coming for the short corner, but Davis is quick to react. Davis is there, third corner of the match to the Cougars. And after 10 minutes of play, 11 minutes of play, there's still no score here at the National Sports Center, but lots of action. A lot of interplay between both teams. Still have to find the rhythm to gain the upper hand. Steed headed out. Ball drops into the 18. And a cheeky flick by Coddington. But O'Brien calls for the foul, which sees 2 players down on the ground. It looks like Derling for the Eagles. Unable to make out which player for the Cougars is coming off the ground. Looks like both players are okay. O'Brien waved away the goal, but it's awarded a free kick to the Cougars, the third free kick of the match for the Cougars. So the Cougars having lots of action as far as free kicks and corners. And Steed shoots straight at Thomas. Thomas, good position. And that was number 21, Sean Brangman, who was floored but able to get back on his feet. Brangman heads the ball back. Coddington, quick. Unable to control it, ball goes out for Adromian. There'll be a good battle between Coddington and Lambert, both speedy players. And Lambert wants to venture forward, likes to take on his direct opponent. Josh Butterfield, quick throw in to Kwame Steed. Unable to redirect the ball, Davis. Lambert, 2-footer tackle from Coddington. And it looks like Cougars are playing a high pressure match, not allowing the Eagles too much time on the ball to play their coveted total football, the Dutch system which Coach Thompson favors. Lambert having to clear his line once again. Good flick on by Russell. Russell showing his aggression and height. A player who also likes to get stuck in, not afraid of the body checks and man-to-man tackling. Eagles also have the young Rakeem Shields in midfield. Very influential youth player who played against West Ham, so would have gotten some experience against some top quality opposition. And it'll be the midfield of the Shields and Davids and Steed and Brangman who will decide most likely the outcome of this match. O'Brien signals a free kick due to a push on Butterfield by Russell. And as I said earlier, the referee will have his hands full in this match, as both parties will be going for it to bring their first FA Cup title to their Legion of Supporters and write history in the club's books. Long ball. Battersby allows it to bunts. High kick. O'Brien waves play on. One of Bermuda's traditional nemesis is to let the ball bounce. Both backlines will have to be better off to put their head to the ball and head it either towards the goalkeeper or away from goal and trade. Cut out by to Manny Steed. Coddington. Battersby. Coddington again. Turns away. Against Rakeem. He shoots. Play on by O'Brien. Adolphus Lambert gets it first. Unlucky, not finding his direct man. Davis heads towards Durling. Durling plays the ball off. Jesse Seymour. Back to Battersby. Durling. Franks, one time, two. Coddington. Coddington cuts inside. Again, both teams not elected to do the simple pass, look to do the difficult interplay. Be easy for both teams to get a rhythm and play into their teammates' feet to build up some consistency. And Tucker back to Seymour. Again, looking to do difficult pass. Cox, high ball into Steed. Steed lays it over. And it's Thomas. Collects. Russell, marked by Butterfield. As I said earlier, Cougar not allowing the Eagles to have any space to turn. And it's working in favor of the Cougars. The Eagles are being forced to race their passing. Coddington over the head of Davis. But Tucker is there. Coddington guilty of pulling down Tucker. And thus far, the majority of the play after 17 minutes is in the middle of the park. Still a scrappy affair. Tucker, followed by Brengman. Tucker again, drove into the Eagles. Steed on the ball. Let's see if he can get his team into a rhythm. Spreads the ball out wide. Jesse Seymour. Long ball, but should be easily collected by Thomas. The veteran Zoo does not have the pace of many years ago, but has a good sense of positioning and technical ability. The Shields. Again, Cox. Into Steed, to Manny Steed. Back to Kovan. Kovan racing into the 18. Again, Seymour. Kovan lays it off. He leaves it for Steed. Steed shoots. Hits the back of Zoo. Beautiful interplay. Again, Cougars showing their intent when coming forward. Tucker comes inside. It's Bean. Good challenge there by Jesse Seymour. And it's looking like Cougars will be the team to score. They've had 3 or 4 good opportunities. Looks like a goal is imminent, especially when Kwame Tucker is on the ball. There are 2 balls here in play. And it seems as Adolphus has the match ball. Russell flicks it over the head of Butterfield. Butterfield's attempt. Coddington. Kwame Steed. Outside their foot to Butterfield. Battersfield. Unable to get on the ball. Heads it out for a Drovian. Cougars look like they are playing a 3-2-3-2. Eagles look like they're playing a 4-3-2. Coddington. Steed. Good tackle by Battersby. Battersby influential thus far, the youngster. Seeing lots of possession. Taken out by Brengman. O'Brien had to call the ball back, even though they look like to be an advantage of play to the Eagles. So as we approach the 20-minute mark here at the National Sports Center, it's still the Eagles nil, the Cougars nil. Slight advantage to the Cougars when going forward, but unable to turn their advantage into the opening goal. And again, Russell being man-marked by Butterfield. Not too much favor for the Eagles at the moment. There's been a quiet day except for the one opportunity for the Eagles, which was tipped over magnificently by Ricardo Brengman. Had to react quickly off the ricochet. And it's Brangman. Long run up. Sensible, just over the half. But it's Davis there. Good header. Bean. As I said, Bean is a very dynamic player. Steed always creating acres of space for himself. Butterfield. Looking for Zul. Zul heads back. The oncoming to Manny Steed. Tucker. Marcel Thomas, quick to react. Being guilty of casual control. Russell, strong. Likes to run with the ball. Gives it away. Tucker's there to react. Russell to Tucker. And Dre plays in. Raheem, the shields. Ball goes out. At the moment, the Hilden midfielders have been in the battle thus far, not allowing the creative midfielders to string the final pass. Cox slips. Ball drifts to Butterfield. Butterfield gets his toe to it. Headed on by Cottington. Steed, beautiful control. Zul holds his run. Zul in the offside position. Steed looked disgusted with Zul, the veteran who ran in the offside position. Even if Zul would have gotten the ball, it would have been offside. And as Seymour, skipper, steps in front of Steed. Zul. Again, an offside for Zul. Zul turns to the AR, but the AR holds his flag. Shows that he was offside and then came back onside. But at the moment, it's still Derbyshire Cougars making the most of their attacking forays into the final third of the Eagles. At this moment, I say a goal would be imminent for the Cougars. Looks like the Cougars will be scoring shortly. Again, Kwame on the ball. Steed, one of Bermuda's most dynamic midfielders. To Maney, to Jesse Seymour. Tries to find the feet of Zul. Durling, all the way in his half. We're looking at the field. Eagles only having one player in their half at most of the times, which is Russell. All the other players in their own half, so they're looking at a counter-attack and start of play. But it's very difficult with one forward against four holding defenders of the Cougars. And we see the Cougars looking to counter quickly with the likes of Cottington, Zul, Steed, and Tucker. Franks. Sends a long ball into Zul. Zul chests it beautifully. Turns in to Steed. Steed steps over the ball. Tries to find Cottington. Cottington is going to score this ball. And as Adolphus Lambert manages to clear the lines, Butterfield guilty of poor control. And the Eagles come away luckily. This right side here of Cottington and Steed, followed by the deep trailing Kwame Steed, is causing havoc for the Eagles back four. Coach comes in, is on the edge of his technical area. It looks like he's giving some technical direction in reference to trailing the advanced player, the Shields, to Lambert. Bean. Cottington, low gravity, turns magnificently. But it's Lambert there. As we approach the 25th minute mark, we're looking for both teams to string together multiple passes just to open up the pitch a little bit more. The play is a little bit too direct at the moment. The Shields, Battersby, Butterfield. O'Brien signals a foul on Butterfield. But again, both teams should use the width of the pitch here at the Sports Center. The play is too predictable, which is allowing the holding midfielders to gain the advantage. Cougars already setting a high line, which is not allowing the Eagles to turn and play their traditional total football. But if the Eagles would just switch play to the other side a little bit more quickly, they'll be able to string together multiple passes. And we see skipper Seymour signaling to his keeper, Thomas, that he should take the kick. Thomas finds Russell, tries to direct it to Durlin. Durlin is going to head into the box. It's Durlin on the edge of the 18, shoots. Durlin electing to shoot. Always a tight angle. Would have been better to turn and square the ball back into the trailing Bean, or on the far side, Troy Tucker. But that is what Eagles will need. to get behind the defense of the Cougars and then spray the ball back into the 18 where the lethal being or the dynamic Tucker will have a chance to strike at keeper Brangman. It's an easy day in the net for Brangman thus far. Tucker, control, beautiful, turns away, finds Davis. Davis looking to punch it wide to Seymour. Seymour into the shields, much better. Gives it away, and Zul spins around, finds Jesse Seymour. Kovan Tucker to Zul. Zul to Steve, much better. Cougars trying to get into a rhythm. Steve always present to take the ball off of Cougars player. It's about 5-6 passes for Cougars, looking much better at the moment. Seymour to Manny Steed, followed by Durling. Durling having drifted out of his attacking position. And it's Tucker. So Sean Brangman have to come out. Oh no, Darius Cock have to come out. Looks like match official O'Brien will be awarding the first card of the day. Don't know why, looked like a clean tackle, but strong tackle. But in the 27th minute, it's the first card of the match, which is being awarded to Troy Tucker of the Eagles for a foul just over the half on Darius Cock. Troy Tucker not understanding fully why he did receive the card, but you have to respect the match official's decision. Poor free kick. Troy gets the ball back. Plays in Bean. Bean looking for Russell. Russell trying to play the ball in one time. Troy back on the ball. Gives it away to Coddington. Kovan Tucker spreads the ball out wide to Jesse Seymour. Seymour plays in to Maney. Denver Seymour manages to keep it in play. And Oscar Andre tries to redirect it forwards, but gives it away for Adrian. Seymour back to Cox. Denver Seymour for the Eagles. So we have Seymours on both sides of the pitch, most likely family. Russell, strong as ever, spins away. Followed by Franks, still Russell. Loses control of it. Drovian to the Cougars. Butterfield to Coddington. Butterfield sends a long pass to Zul. Andrade. It still looked as if Kovan Tucker was going on goal, but Andrade was just there to place his body in between player and ball. And Thomas sends a long ball, which Seymour allows to bounce over his head. Cox. We have Brangman out of goal. Tucker. And O'Brien signals a draw in to the Cougars. The match needs a little bit of urgency at the moment. As we approach the 29th minute, spectators looking for a goal to celebrate. And just as I say that, it's Kovan Tucker racing to the 18. He's in front. Beautiful tackle there by skipper Denver Seymour, showing why he's carrying the armband and marshalling the back four. If that would have been a missed time tackle, that would have been a free penalty kick, or kick from the penalty mark awarded to the Cougars, which most likely Aljamain Shul or Kwame Steve would have stepped up to take. But it's well-timed tackle signals the third corner of the game for the Cougars, which Tremaine Steve takes from the opposite side of the field. Looks like he's designated to take the kick, floated in again. Sumi, and we have Kwame Steve always drifting away from goal, tries to hook it towards keeper Thomas, showing good technique, but unable to keep the ball down. And just after half an hour, it's still 0-0 here at the National Sports Center between the Devonshire Cougars and the Somerset Eagles. Both teams unable to settle at the moment. Still some nerves as they have not won the coveted FA trophy yet. Both of them looking to be the first time to take their trophies back to their legion of supporters. And Andrade and Seymour battling on that side. Danvers, son of Danvers Senior, legend at the Dennytown Hornets, the man with the white boots, now has a son who is marshalling the defense of the Somerset Eagles back line, also a coach in his own right at the Somerset Trojans, Andre, followed by Tucker, Davis, Andre, plays in the Shields. The Shields just unable to keep their ball in play. Be a goal kick for Brangman. We see Coach Thompson on the edge of his technical area trying to give some instructions. I'm quite certain he's not pleased with the overall amount of possession that the Eagles have had thus far. It's been Cougars, and the Eagles have given the ball away cheaply, something that Coach Thompson is not in favor of. He's a very technical coach, always trying to dominate the match by maintaining possession. That's a push there by Zul. Zul demonstrating that he did not intend to do that, but match official O'Brien was there on top of the match. O'Brien having a good match thus far. He's been in touch with the play, been close to the play at all times. But again, this match just needs to go to lift the match a little bit. And Lambert, poor kick. Tucker. Tucker followed by Lambert. Tucker, beautiful behind the back. Cuts into the 18, stands his ground, but Adolphus Lambert. Battersby recovered. Bean tested to Tucker. Tucker gets the ball away cheaply. Brangman. Andrade should have time on the ball. If he gets there, no, decides to let it run out. It's the Eagles who return to top flight football from the first division and have maintained their Premier Division status under the tutelage of Coach Thompson and assisted by Coach Lowe. So they will be back in the BFA Premier Division for a continuous year. It's Russell trying to get the batter of Butterfield. Russell still in possession. Russell looking to face his opponent. Russell turns away, crosses over, but it's Butterfield there. Good defending by Butterfield. Bean cleared there by Cox. Battersby heads it to the Shields. The Shields to Andrade. Back to the Shields. Looking for Durling. Ball drifted just out of Durling's reach. Decided not to run for it. And again, we see Coach Thompson is still at the edge of his technical area. Looking for a way to get his team into the match. Franks back to Brangman. Brangman one-time clearance to Tucker. Headed on by Andrade. Cox, having returned from school for this match. Seymour. And we see that on the opposite side, Denver Seymour pulled down to Maney Steed or Coddington. Second yellow of the match being awarded to the skipper of the Somerset Eagles, Denver Seymour. He was beaten by the turn of Coddington and decided to pull him down, professional foul, not allowing Coddington to get behind him and dash into the 18-yard box. You see that the ball is played back. Bean is quick to react. Brangman takes his time on the ball. Calling for someone to come and get the ball from him. Kick. Zul. Lambert. Drove into the Cougars. Lively match here as both sets of supporters showing their passion and giving their opinion as what should have taken place in the match, but it's Davis. Durling. We haven't seen much of Durling. Flight of the ball beats Durling. Lambert. Shoot it out by Lambert. Davis. Back to Lambert. Tucker. Davis. Gives the ball away to Cottington. Steed. Kwame Steed. Finds Zul, the veteran. Zul shoots. Zul puts his hands up. Zul trying to aim for the far post here in the 36 minutes. But a shot off balance goes wide. Again, poor kick from the keeper to Steed. The Shields. On the edge of the 18, come on, D'Amico Cottington. And a poor shot. The Cougars are having various opportunities, but not able to get that final third pass in the third, or the final shot on goal. But they are the more deadly team going forward. It's Cottington, somehow allowed to drift into the 18. Retains possession. Again, the Eagles are having to throw their body at the ball. Shot by Brangman. For May Steed on the edge here. Slips Adolphus Lambert beautifully. Crosses over, but it's Davis. Lambert now. What will he do? Finds Bean. Bean allows it to drift. Russell finds Durling. It's Durling with Bean. Bean calls for the ball. It's Bean. Good challenge there by Kaiwan Franks. Being unable to get the ball under his feet. But even without a goal, there's end-to-end action here at the Sports Center. Still 0-0 between the Cougars and the Somerset Eagles. Lambert crosses it over. Ball given away there by Kavon Tucker. It's now Andrade. Andrade sends the ball in. Durden lets it run. Troy Tucker. Oh, Cottington all the way back as a fullback at the moment. Sends a long ball, which always was going to beat the short Zoo. It's now the Eagles are able to regroup. There is 7 minutes left in the first half. Both teams unable to find the opening goal. Russell cut it inside. Russell sends a shot, which hits the corner flag. And as signals say goal kick. Russell shows his disbelief as he's seen himself at the ricochet off a play of the Devonshire Cougars. And as we go into the final 7 minutes here, both teams will be looking to see if they can get a goal, or at least not give away a goal. Long kick by Cox. Headed on by Zul. Tucker in the 18 against Battersby. Battersby holds his ground. As I said today, both sets of defenses and holding midfielders are winning the battle thus far. Tomei Steed loses his footing. Seymour. Strong tackle by Davis. Durling. Again, Durling gives the ball away. Cox. Durling recovers beautifully. Bean into Davis. Davis finds Tucker. Tucker plays in Russell. It's Tucker. Tucker's gonna go. Oh, beautiful, beautiful tackle by Tomei Steed. And somehow, Kaiwan Franks is awarded a yellow card here in the 39th minute. This is end-to-end action here at the Sports Center. They sometimes say a game without a goal can be boring, but definitely not this encounter here in the FA Cup between the Eagles and the Cougars. Davis shoots, ball drifts wide, but that was Kaiwan Franks in the 39th minute receiving a yellow card from match official O'Brien. O'Brien will be having to write a lot of notes here halftime, as this is a lively match. No goals, but lots of tough tackling. End-to-end action in the final third. Actually, I would say this bodes well for this match, because when both teams go in at halftime, if the score remains the same, all their coaching staff has to do is say, young boys, let's settle a little bit, string together some passes, and let's get the ball into the back of the net. There's not much wrong they are doing besides that. And Andrade throws into the Shields. Cleared by Seymour. Easily collected by Brangman. Brangman carries the ball to the edge of his 18. Zul Battersby wins that one. Zul looking for the foul as Battersby had his hands on the back of Zul. Chested on by Steed. Cottington. Will this be the fifth time lucky for Cougars? Cottington awarded a free kick. Somewhat of a sore free kick. It seemed as Battersby had gotten the better of Cottington, who had lost possession of the ball. But again, the man on the field makes the final decision. And this must be the fifth free kick awarded to the Cougars around the edge of the 18. We see Cox, Steed, and Cox, Steed, and Cottington around the ball with a five-man defense. Cottington runs over, Steed shoots straight at the wall. The wall's done his job. We have Seymour, blocked by the on-rushing Bean. Kevon Tucker on the edge against skipper Seymour. Bean out hustled by Franks. Franks tries to switch the play, but it's Tucker. Tucker gives the ball away to Butterfield. Davis. Lambert tries to just cheekily Drew Steed. Again, both teams have to play the simple ball. Kwame Steed. Ball headed away. Battersby tries to keep the ball in play. Calm as composed. Battersby showing some potential. Flicked on by Tucker. Russell being caught in possession, maintains possession. Running that goal, shoots at Brangman. Brangman pass, it's Bean, shoots. 1-0 for the Eagles. 1-0 for the Eagles. After 41 minutes and 40 seconds, a long shot, all of 22 yards by Antoine Russell. Looked as if there was no danger for the keeper of the Cougars, Ricardo Brangman. It looked like the shot of Russell should have been easily collected. Brangman parried the ball into the path of Russell. Just as it looked as Brangman was able to get onto his feet and collect the ball, the ever-attent Bean raced into the 18. And as a striker would, a calm and composed striker held his ground and placed it to the far left of Brangman. And now here, after 42 minutes, it's 1-0 to the Eagles. It's a game where in the first half it's been end-to-end action. Cougars should have scored at least on 2 occasions, but if you don't put the ball back into the net. And again, it's Steed who comes back right after going down 1-0, tries to find Sue. It looks like the Cougars will not die down before the final whistle in this first half. And it's the fourth corner for the Cougars. Again, to Manny Steeds. A quick corner to Cox. Cox sends one high into the 18, but it drifts away. Sue chasing the ball. And after 42 minutes, it's Somerset Eagles who are a step closer to taking their coveted first FA Cup trophy all the way to White Hill. I know that President Mark Bean of the Cougars, Senator Bean, is smiling at the moment. Zul sends one in to Steed. Steed turns away from Gill. Floats one out there to Tucker. Tucker followed by Andrade. Goes around Andrade into the 18. Hills his ground. Tries to find Zul. Davis. Bean turns away. Doling. Andrade looking for possession. Finds Doling. Bean drifting away from Franks. But it's Cottington. Cottington runs away from Tucker. Davis, tough challenge in the middle of the park. Davis is what we call has given a professional foul. Recognized if Cottington would have turned away from him. Not willing to allow Cougars to get back into the match before halftime. Smart foul by Davis. Davis not as fast as he used to be, but a very intelligent player. Having at least 10 years of experience in top flight football. Applied his trade with Wolves on numerous occasions, and now in his second year at the Somerset Eagles, having brought him out of the first division into the Premier Division. Tucker against Andrade. Tucker's looking deadly and lively. Sends one. Headed out by Battersby. Battersby, my man of the match thus far for the Eagles. Very composed. Cox. Looking to clear his line. Russell is calling for the Eagles to support him going forward. Durling skips away to Tucker. Tucker to Russell. It's Tucker. What will he do? Tucker slips it. Unbelievable. Pandemonium here. And it's just on the stroke of halftime. It's Tucker, Troy Tucker, who sends the Eagles into 2-0. 2-0 to the Eagles under Troy Tucker here. And now this match will be all about what will Devonshire Cougars do in the second half. Troy Tucker having scored in the 45th minute after a through ball by Durling to Russell. Russell laid it off, and Tucker, a very intelligent player, slipped this one under Bregman. Just as it looked as if a halftime would have brought no score. Unbelievable. Inside a space of 4 minutes, the Eagles haven't scored twice, and it's now a different match. Cougars center off again, and they only have themselves to blame for being down 2-0. And it's Tucker into Zul. Zul looking to find Aljami. Tries to lob Thomas. Cotterton followed up. Halftime here at the National Sports Center. And 2 goals, one from Keishan Bean, one from Troy Tucker. We'll see the boys in yellow and blue walk back to the change room, very relaxed and calm. The initial team talk would have been to, hey, how can we get back to this match and string together more passes? But at the moment it's, hey, boys, let's try to maintain this 2-0 lead for the next 15 minutes once the second half restart. But the team talk for the Cougars will be differently. What will player coach from Steve do? What will he say to his troops as they now have a 2-0 deficit to pull back before they can even think about getting back into the match? This is Kyle Blankenau on behalf of Bermuda Sport Network, standing in for Mike Sharp here with Lamern Woods. And we'll be back to you for a very exciting half. But at the moment, it's Eagles who will be carrying the trophy back to White Hill. But the match is not over until the final 90 minutes have been blown.